Welcome everybody. Our outside the box workout today is 3 rounds. You're going to start off with 15 pistols, then you're going to go for 30 reverse sit-ups, and then you're going to go for a 75-foot handstand walk. If you don't have your handstand walk, you can go for 5 wall climbs instead. And of course, we'll show you some other scaling options in the workout demo. This workout is meant to be a little bit more skill building. We're doing a lot of core stuff. Those pistols are a little bit more balance work, more skill work. So you will be moving slowly through each of the movements, but you shouldn't really be stopping too much. So overall, you're going to be looking at about 10 minutes or less to get this one done today. And it's just going to be more like that slow, skillful grind. Be mindful of each position. These are all tricky movements, skill-wise. So be mindful of your positions, what you're feeling, how it's activating as you go through this workout. So it's not a standard, dripping in sweat when you're done kind of workout. The cardio maybe won't be going crazy. It's just more about being mindful of how you're moving through them. Afterburner today is a 3-minute couch stretch. So again, one of our favorites, really getting that hip flexor going, opening up, especially after all those pistols. It's a great idea to get into that couch stretch, sometimes even before you do pistols if you have really tight hips. Nonetheless, before or after, it's all good. We're gonna open that up. Enjoy today's workout, guys. We'll see you next for the warm-up.
Hey guys, we're gonna go over the warm-up now. We're gonna start with 2 minutes of good morning. So this is accumulated. You can do 1 minute, take a rest, do another minute, or you can do 20 seconds, 10-second rest. Just make sure the rest doesn't count. You want 2 minutes in total of this. You can do this with a PVC pipe, nothing heavy. We're really focusing on the hips and that posterior chain. So you're gonna hinge at the hips, keep those knees as straight as you can, and here you're gonna squeeze those glutes to come up. So again, push the hips back. You can have a micro bend in the knees, but keep them as straight as you can. That way you will feel a stretch in the hamstrings, and then you're gonna squeeze your glutes to come back up. Again, accumulate 2 minutes of that. After you're done with the 2 minutes, we're gonna do 3 rounds of 16 alternating jackknives. We're gonna come down to the floor. We're gonna come into that nice and hollow position, and we're gonna go for 16 alternating jackknives where you bring one leg at a time. Don't let that low back come off the ground. Maintain that nice hollow. Break them out as you have to. Afterwards, you're gonna grab an object. You're gonna bring it in that nice front rack position, and we're gonna go for 8 and 8 alternating front rack lunges. So you're gonna go for 8 in total, and then you're gonna switch the arms, and you're gonna go for 8 more. We're going here for core stability in that front rack position. Don't let the knee pass your ankle. Push through the heel to come back up. When you're done with those, we're gonna go for some Turkish get up with a press, 4 and 4. Again, you want something light here. You're gonna come up into that Turkish sit up. While you're up here, you're gonna bring that kettlebell or object down and go for a press, and then come back down. And repeat for 4 on one side and then 4 on the other side.
For the pistols today, if you have pistol squats, go for them today. You can go off the end of your couch, or if you have a ball or anything that you want to go up to your height to work on that pistol, you can do so. Also mention you guys can do some reverse lunges for the workout as well. So I'll use a weight for those reverse lunges. I'm going to try and put a little bit more weight on that front floor of the working leg there. So my left leg's going to be on the floor there. I'm going to drive that right leg back, trying to put as much weight in that front foot. And then as I start standing up, I'm going to shift my weight to that front foot and then stand it up from there. Then switch, opposite leg comes back, and then you drive with that front foot. You can also play around with doing some curtsy lunges too with that weight. So we're going to send that foot behind that front foot, out to the side, trying to keep the hips as straight as possible or square as possible forward, and then driving through that front foot to stand it up. This one will work a little bit more on that inside of the leg and stability of the knee laterally, so you can work on that as well as an option for those pistol squats today.
Reverse sit-ups. First, I'm going to do them without holding onto an object. So reverse sit-up, instead of your upper body coming up, your legs are going to go up. Okay, so your setup is the same. Maybe your hands off to the side, maybe they're underneath you, but you might find a little bit more support. And not just support, but you're able to keep your lumbar a little bit more flatter. If that's the case, start by extending your legs, tuck your knees towards your chest. From there, you're going to lift your bum off the ground, control your descent before you extend your legs up. Watch you're not falling and rocking in that reverse sit-up. If that's tricky, hands underneath, off to the side, feel free to grab a door jamb on the one side. If there's a post available, grab a post. Maybe you're partnering up. Maybe if you ever want to do reverse sit-ups as partners, you can even grab your partner's ankles. Okay? Just giving you guys ideas. As you grab something, it closes your kinetic chink so you're able to pull. It keeps your arms flexed, keeps your core flexed to allow you to go through the movement. From there, again, extend your legs flat back like a dead bug. Tuck your knees to your chest. Lift your hips off the ground. Control it down. Head still on the ground. I just lift it up so you can see the camera. Then extend your legs out to as full extension, guys, to finish your sit-up.
Handstand walk. If you can't do the handstand walking yet, we're just going to work on the shoulder taps. And then you're going to do a 75-foot walking lunge. If you don't have the length, just go for 30 alternating lunges. And then we're going to end off with 25 sit-ups. The handstand walking and the shoulder tapping, that's going to maybe go a little bit slower. The other stuff you want to get moving a little bit quicker on. Get that heart rate a little elevated, keep it moving. So for the shoulder taps, I'm going to walk you guys through it first from the top of the dive bomber, just so you guys can kind of get a visual of what it looks like. You might want to even stay in that position. You can also use a wall for this one, which I'll also show you guys. So if you guys are doing the dive bomber, you're going to think about getting your head through the window, and then you're going to walk out that upper back. From here, you're going to lean to one side ever so slightly, touch your shoulder, back to neutral, touch the shoulder on the other side, and you're just going to go back and forth. You guys can also do this with your feet elevated on a box or like a chair or something like that. So sometimes we do our handstand push-up modification from there. We're also going to give you guys the option of using a wall. If you're using a wall, we're going to start off with a wall climb to get yourselves inverted. Now, with that wall climb here, guys, get as close to that wall as you want. So based on your comfort level, you might be a little bit away from the wall. You might be able to get right up to the wall. If you guys can't, when I showed you guys the shoulder taps alternating from the top of the dive bomber, I was actually touching my shoulders. When you're in that inverted position, it's going to be a little bit trickier. So you might want to start by just, picture me upside down right now, just releasing my arms from side to side. So I'm not actually touching the shoulder, I'm just kind of releasing side to side. We're just teaching you guys basically how to shift your weight from one side to the other while upside down. So as mentioned, you're going to start off in the wall, walking yourselves up, walking yourselves up. From here, just learn to shift from side to side. Keep that rib cage tucked in, butt tight, and eventually you can get those hands to touch the shoulders side to side with control. The most common issue we see with this one is that lower back really overarching as you get tired or as you add speed. So if you notice when I did the first couple, I took a second or two in between each rep, or not quite a full second or two, but I made sure I re-engaged through that midline before I went to release the other arm. Okay, welcome everybody. Hope that workout was good. Hopefully you picked yourself up off the floor by now. So today's afterburn, we're going for a couch stretch. One of my favorite stretches, really good for targeting the hip flexor, also feeling it into the quad sometimes as well. I'm gonna show you guys just 3 progressions for today on the couch stretch. There's different ways you can do this one. I'm gonna show you the 3 that I like to go with because you'll know it's very obvious if you're progressing, if you're getting a little bit more mobility in those hips. So the first progression is you're just gonna start off with your knee butted up against the wall and the floor. From here, your other leg is on its knee. You can bring it out to the side more if you want, forward, play around a bit. More importantly, I'm thinking of pushing my hip down towards that floor, keeping my rib cage in. So if I'm overarching my back here, I'm gonna miss completely the point of feeling that stretch. It's not gonna really work. So I'm gonna get that rib cage down, squeeze my butt on that back leg, and push my hip to the floor. If I'm feeling pretty good of a stretch here, I can just hold it here. If I'm not feeling too much of a stretch, the next progression is to bring the other foot forward. Notice how I'm flat on my foot, on my heel. My shin is on a slight forward angle. That's where you want to be. From here, again, I'm going to think about rib cage down, and then I'm going to push my hip in towards that floor, keeping that core really tensioned up, squeezing my butt on that back leg. For myself, I can really feel a good stretch here. This is probably where I would stay for a little while. If you guys still feel like you can take a little bit more on, you can grab a table or a chair or a med ball, and you can actually prop yourself up. Again, rib cage down, squeezing my butt, pushing my hip forward, and I'm just holding that position. Notice how my knee is still butted in the corner of that wall. I notice with a lot of our classes here, guys, the tendency is to kind of let that knee slide away from the wall as you go into that stretch. That will change the stretch a little bit. For today, I want to challenge you guys to make sure your knee is staying up against that wall. Play with the first progression, then the second, then the third as you see fit. 3 minutes per side. Don't be afraid to get a little bit uncomfortable here today.